There's a kind of love that doesn't arrive with fireworks or dramatic speeches. It sneaks in quietly, reshaping the smallest details of a man's world until he realizes that everything, every thought, every breath, every heartbeat, somehow circles back to you. He doesn't say it outright, not yet. But you can feel it in the way the air changes when he enters the room, in the way his silence feels charged with words he hasn't yet dared to confess. The truth is, when a man is falling, he becomes restless in the most beautiful way. He'll catch himself checking his phone, not because he's waiting on an urgent email, but because he's hoping your name will light up the screen. He'll replay the sound of your laughter in his head on quiet nights, like a melody that refuses to fade. And he'll notice you in ways no one else does, the little quirks, the fleeting moods, the unspoken stories hidden in your eyes. To the world, you might seem ordinary. To him, you've already become unforgettable. But here's the catch. Love often reveals itself in fragments, not declarations. It's not always "I love you" spoken under moonlight. More often, it's in the protective way he places his hand at your back when crossing the street. It's in the nervous smile he gives when your eyes meet across a room. It's in the quiet devotion of remembering the exact way you take your coffee, or the sudden tenderness in his voice when he says your name. This is the poetry of falling, the small, almost invisible gestures that carry the weight of 1,000 confessions. If you look closely, you'll see it everywhere. In his gaze that always finds you, in his willingness to lose sleep just to keep you company, in the way your dreams slowly start becoming his. These aren't coincidences, they're signs, and each one whispers the truth. He's not just thinking of you, he's building a world around you. So if you've been wondering whether his heart is already slipping toward yours, pay attention to the details. Love doesn't hide as well as we think. In fact, it can't. It spills out in glances, in gestures, in choices too consistent to ignore. That's why we're breaking down the 15 undeniable signs he's falling for you and can't stop thinking about you every day. Because sometimes, the greatest love stories don't start with words, they start with signs. And once you see them, you'll never doubt again what his heart has been trying to tell you all along. Sign 1. His eyes. Search for you in every room. There's a certain electricity in the air when someone is secretly falling for you. He might not announce it with words, but his eyes betray him every single time. Imagine walking into a crowded space, a cafe, a gathering, even just a hallway. And before you've fully settled in, his gaze has already found you. It's not accidental, it's instinct. His eyes don't just glance. They linger, as though drawn by an invisible magnet. When he's falling for you, his pupils widen slightly when you speak. He locks in, not out of politeness, but because every detail of your expression feels like a clue to your inner world. It's as if you've become his favorite book, and he can't help but reread every line with wonder. You might notice how, in a sea of people, he's the one who always tracks your laughter, your movements, your small gestures. His focus softens when you're near, and sharpens when someone else has your attention. A flicker of protectiveness he can't quite mask. What makes this sign powerful isn't just the attention, it's the sincerity behind it. A man falling for you doesn't just see you. He watches you like he's memorizing a song he can't stop humming later. Even when he tries to be discreet, you'll catch the quiet glow in his eyes when your names cross lips, or when he notices you smiling at something he didn't say. Eyes reveal what mouths are too afraid to confess. And if his eyes can't stop searching for you, it's because in his world, you've already become the center he orbits around. Sign 2. He remembers the little things you thought didn't matter. Love doesn't always announce itself with grand gestures. More often, it slips quietly into the way someone pays attention to the details of your life. When a man is falling for you, he begins to collect fragments of who you are. Like puzzle pieces, he's determined to keep safe until he can put the whole picture together. Think about the casual things you've said in passing. Maybe you mentioned your favorite childhood snack, or how rain makes you oddly nostalgic, or that you once dreamed of learning to play the piano. Most people would let these details float away like smoke. But he doesn't. He catches them, stores them, and brings them back at the exact moment you least expect. One day, you're walking with him, and he suddenly pauses because he spotted that rare candy bar you once said you loved. Another day, he sends you a song link. One you told him months ago always gave you chills. The magic isn't in the object itself. It's in the quiet devotion of remembering what the world dismissed as unimportant. This attention isn't rehearsed. It's not the effort of someone trying to impress. It's the natural instinct of a heart leaning toward you. When he's falling, every detail about you feels sacred. The way you take your coffee. The shade of blue you once said reminded you of home. Even the rhythm of your footsteps when you're lost in thought. It's cinematic because it feels almost surreal. The moment you realize someone has been carefully archiving the soundtrack of your life, just so he can replay it back to you in moments that whisper, "I see you. I hear you. I hold you close even in silence." A man in love doesn't just remember, he treasures. And when he treasures your smallest details, it's because he's already writing you into the script of his every day. Sign 3. He finds excuses just to be near you. When a man is falling for you, the pull toward your presence becomes almost gravitational. He may not yet have the courage to declare his feelings, but his actions quietly betray him. He simply can't resist creating reasons, sometimes the flimsiest ones, to orbit close to where you are. Notice how he suddenly appears in places you didn't expect him. If you're at work, he might wander by your desk under the pretense of needing a stapler. At a gathering, he somehow ends up in your corner of the room, offering to refill drinks or share an inside joke. Even in the digital world, he accidentally sends you a meme, a link, or a random thought. Anything to start a conversation and keep the connection alive. These excuses aren't random. They're small, carefully chosen opportunities to build a bridge. Each moment near you is a chance to soak in your presence, the sound of your laughter, the way you tilt your head when you're thinking, even the silence that stretches comfortably between you. Being near you becomes less about convenience and more about necessity, as if his day feels incomplete without your energy. It's not always about grand, sweeping moves. Sometimes it's as simple as offering to walk you to your car, standing beside you while waiting in line, or showing up at group events he otherwise might have skipped. The truth is, when his heart is leaning toward you, geography matters. Closeness equals comfort, and there's a subtle beauty in these excuses. They remind you of a scene in a film where the hero doesn't yet say, "I love you," but the audience already knows. Because in every step he takes toward you, every invented reason to share your air, he's already confessing what his lips haven't dared to speak. A man who seeks your presence isn't just filling time, he's filling a quiet ache. And the closer he gets, the clearer it becomes. He's falling, and he doesn't even want to stop the fall. Sign 4. His voice softens. When he speaks to you, there's something unmistakable about the way a man's voice changes when he's falling for you. Around others, he may sound casual, loud, even careless. But when his words are meant for you, a subtle tenderness creeps in, softening every syllable. It's as though his voice instinctively lowers its guard, wrapping you in an intimacy no one else receives. You might notice it in the small moments. He leans in to ask you a question, and suddenly the pitch drops, his words stretching slower, smoother, as if he wants you to linger inside them. Even in a crowded room when he says your name. It sounds different, gentler, almost like a secret whispered between two people in on the same truth. When a man is falling, his voice becomes an instrument he plays unconsciously. The laugh he gives you is warmer, less restrained. The teasing tone he uses carries a layer of affection. And when he's worried about you, the concern in his voice deepens, making it impossible to mistake his care for anything casual. This shift isn't deliberate performance. It's instinct. Our voices bend toward the people we love. They betray our inner world, often before we're ready to confess it. With him, you'll feel it in the way his hello sounds brighter, the way his goodbye lingers, the way his pauses stretch longer because he doesn't want the conversation to end. Think of it like a cinematic soundtrack. When you're with him, the music changes. His voice lowers its volume for the rest of the world, but plays in high definition for you. It's not just communication, it's connection. A man doesn't soften his voice for everyone. He does it for the one who has already slipped into his heart. And if you hear that unguarded warmth every time he speaks to you, it's not just conversation anymore. It's confession, wrapped in tone, waiting for you to notice. Sign 5. He gets protective in subtle, quiet ways. When a man is falling for you, his care often shows up in small, protective gestures rather than dramatic declarations. It's not about trying to control you or make big, heroic moves. It's about the quiet ways he shields you from discomfort, inconvenience, or hurt, as if your well-being has suddenly become woven into his. Picture this. You're walking down a busy street together, and without a word, he positions himself on the side closest to the traffic. At dinner, he notices your glass is nearly empty before you do, and he refills it. If you're feeling cold, he offers his jacket without hesitation, like it was always meant for you. None of these acts demand recognition, but each of them reveals his growing instinct. Keep her safe. Keep her comfortable. You'll see it in the way his body subtly angles toward you in a crowd, creating a protective barrier without even realizing it. You'll feel it in his concern when you say you're driving home late and he checks in just to make sure you arrived safely. You'll notice it when someone speaks harshly to you, and his jaw tightens even if he doesn't speak up. The silent storm of someone who wishes they could absorb every sharp edge before it reaches you. What makes this sign so powerful is that it's effortless. He isn't trying to impress. He isn't putting on a show. These protective instincts slip out because his heart has already made space for you. The world might see just another man holding a door or offering a ride, but you'll recognize what it really is. Love rehearsing itself through action. In cinema, this is the moment the audience realizes before the character does that love has already taken root. And in real life, when a man quietly protects you in the little things, it's his way of saying, "You matter more than me, and I'll keep proving it, even when you're not looking." Sign 6. He shares his vulnerabilities with you. When a man is falling for you, the walls he's built for years start to crumble in your presence. Men are often taught to armor themselves, to appear strong, composed, unshaken. But when his heart begins to trust yours, he reveals the cracks he once hid, not to burden you, but because you've become the only place where his truth feels safe. It doesn't happen all at once. At first, it's small things. He admits he's nervous about a presentation, or that he sometimes doubts himself. Then the deeper layers surface. He tells you about the family tension that still haunts him, the dream he secretly fears will never come true, or the childhood wound that shaped the way he sees love. These aren't stories he shares freely with the world. They're sacred, wrapped in vulnerability, handed to you because his heart is already leaning on yours. When he's falling, silence between you becomes fertile ground for confession. You'll notice the way he pauses before revealing something, his voice softer, his eyes searching yours for reassurance that you won't turn away. And when you listen without judgment, you become more than someone he likes. You become his safe haven. This vulnerability isn't weakness. In fact, it's one of the clearest signs of love's courage. By showing you his unpolished sides, he's saying, "I trust you with the parts of me I've hidden from the world." It's cinematic in its quiet intensity. The tough character lowering his guard, the unspoken intimacy of two people bound not by perfection, but by truth. When he lets you see him stumble, when he shares the fears he never speaks aloud, he's already chosen you as his confidant. And in that moment, you don't just hold his secrets, you hold his heart. Sign 7. He mirrors your actions. Without realizing it, one of the most cinematic, yet unconscious, signs of love is mirroring. When a man is falling for you, his body starts echoing yours, like his heart is syncing with your rhythm before his mind has caught up. It's not imitation, it's connection, a silent choreography that only happens when he's deeply attuned to your presence. You lean forward across the table, and seconds later, he does the same. You tuck your hair behind your ear, and without thinking, his hand brushes the back of his own neck. Even in conversation, his phrasing begins to mirror yours, using the same expressions, laughing in a cadence that matches your own. These aren't conscious choices. They're instinctive signals. I feel you, I'm with you, I'm drawn to you. Think of it like the way music pulls two dancers into harmony. He may not notice he's matching your pace as you walk side by side, or that he's sipping his drink just after you sip yours, but the effect is undeniable. His body has chosen closeness before his words dare to confess it. The beauty of mirroring is in its intimacy. It's the universe staging a quiet scene. Two people moving in unison without rehearsal, like their souls are already practicing what life together could feel like. In films, this is the moment the audience smiles knowingly. The subtle synchronicity that gives the secret away before either character says it aloud. When he mirrors you, he's saying what he can't yet articulate. Your presence shapes me. Your rhythm becomes mine. Without even trying, I want to belong where you are. It's one of love's gentlest truths. The body always knows before the lips confess, and if his movements keep finding yours, it's not coincidence. It's gravity. Sign 8. He gets a little jealous, even if he tries to hide it. When a man is falling for you, his calm exterior sometimes betrays him the moment another person captures your attention. It's not the loud, possessive jealousy that feels toxic. No, it's quieter, subtler, the kind that flickers across his face before he quickly masks it, hoping you didn't notice. Picture this. You're laughing at someone else's joke, and for a split second his smile stiffens. Or maybe you mention another man's name, and though he nods casually, his hand fidgets, his eyes cloud with something unspoken. These moments aren't about control. They're about fear. Fear of losing the place in your life that means more to him than he's ready to admit. He'll try to brush it off. He may tease you playfully about the person, or act overly nonchalant, but his tone wavers just enough to give him away. Later, you might catch him making small efforts to stand taller, to draw your attention back, to remind you, even unconsciously, that he wants to be the one you choose. This kind of jealousy doesn't come from insecurity alone. It comes from investment. It's the cinematic moment where the character, still silent about his feelings, realizes how much you matter when the possibility of losing you stings sharper than expected. The audience sees it, even if he's still in denial. His heart is no longer just his own. The tenderness lies in how he handles it. He doesn't lash out. Instead, he grows attentive. He leans closer in conversation, makes subtle jokes to pull your eyes back to him, or listens more intently as if to reclaim his space. And though he might never say it aloud, his jealousy whispers what his lips haven't yet formed. I want you to see me the way I already see you. It's not about ownership. It's about care, the kind that trembles at the thought of being replaced. And when his mask slips for just a heartbeat, it reveals a truth even he can't hide. He's already yours in ways he hasn't dared to say. Sign 9. He wants to know everything about you. When a man is falling for you, curiosity becomes devotion. He doesn't just skim the surface of who you are. He dives deep, eager to uncover every layer, every hidden corner of your world. It's not small talk anymore, it's soul talk. Every question he asks is a bridge. Every answer you give a piece of treasure he tucks away like it belongs in a private collection only he can cherish. You'll notice it in the way his conversations linger. He doesn't stop at "How was your day?" Instead, he asks what made you smile, what frustrated you, what you dreamed about last night. He wants to know your favorite childhood memory, the song that makes you cry, the story behind the scar on your knee. To him, nothing is trivial if it comes from you. Even in group settings, his focus sharpens when you speak. He remembers the way you describe your grandmother's cooking or the teacher who inspired you in high school. Later, he might circle back. You once said fall reminds you of your dad. Why was that? His memory is selective, yes, but only because your words matter more than anyone else's. It feels cinematic, the way he leans in, listening like you're the only voice in a crowded cafe, like your stories are his favorite movie scenes. His questions aren't invasive. They're tender. He isn't gathering information. He's gathering intimacy. Every answer you give makes him feel closer, like he's stitching himself into the fabric of your life one detail at a time. What makes this sign so powerful is its endurance. A man casually interested might ask questions out of politeness, but when he's falling, his curiosity doesn't fade. It deepens. The more he learns, the more he wants to learn, as if every story you share reveals another reason his heart can't stop choosing you. In truth, his endless questions are more than curiosity. They're quiet vows. I want to know you fully, because the more I know, the more I fall. Sign 10. He makes time for you. No matter how busy he is, in a world where everyone claims to be too busy, the real measure of love is priority. When a man is falling for you, he doesn't just fit you into his schedule. He rearranges his world to carve out space for you. His time, once scattered across obligations, suddenly bends toward you, as if every hour feels incomplete without a trace of your presence. You'll notice it in subtle ways at first. He lingers after conversations, stretching a 5-minute chat into half an hour. He offers to run errands with you, even if it means taking the longer route. He stays up late just to keep you company on the phone, even though he has an early morning meeting. In his actions, the message is clear. You matter more than my convenience. When he's falling, time itself shifts in value. A busy day becomes lighter if he can squeeze in a moment with you. He'll decline invitations he once would have accepted, just to be where you are. If you need him somehow, he shows up, even if it means juggling deadlines, missing sleep, or braving traffic. Love, after all, isn't measured in gifts or grand declarations. It's measured in minutes willingly surrendered. Think of it like a film scene where the character, exhausted from a long day, still finds his way to your doorstep. Not because it's practical, but because being near you feels like the only way to recharge. His presence becomes his gift, and his time becomes proof that you are no longer just someone he likes, but someone he values. This sign isn't about convenience. It's about choice. A man who is falling for you will always find a way, because to him, the hours spent with you aren't sacrifices. They're the best part of his day. And in every stolen moment, he's saying what words can't fully capture. I want you woven into my every tomorrow. Sign 11. He supports your dreams as if they were his own. When a man is falling for you, your ambitions stop being distant ideas he nods politely at. They become missions he quietly adopts as part of his own. Your dreams, whether small or grand, start to matter to him with the same intensity as his own goals. It's not just encouragement. It's investment. Imagine telling him about something you've always wanted, maybe launching a small business, running a marathon, or learning a new skill. Instead of dismissing it with a casual, "That's nice," he leans in. He asks questions, offers suggestions, and sometimes even researches on his own to help you find a path forward. If you doubt yourself, he's the one reminding you of your strengths, holding up a mirror to show you the courage you've forgotten you had. In small ways, he becomes your quiet cheerleader. He sends you an article that aligns with your dream, introduces you to someone who can help, or clears his schedule just to show up and watch you shine. These aren't random acts, they're signs of alignment. He's showing that he doesn't just want to be part of your present, he wants to be woven into your future. Cinematically, this is the scene where the love interest isn't the star of the story, but the steady presence in the wings, the one clapping the loudest, holding water bottles during rehearsals, or smiling with pride when the spotlight finally finds you. His love is not about competing with your light, but about fueling it. This sign is powerful because it reflects something rare: selflessness. Falling for you means he doesn't just want you. He wants your happiness, your growth, your fulfillment. And so he roots for you not as a spectator, but as a teammate ready to push, protect, and celebrate you through every high and low. When his heart has truly begun to fall, your dream becomes his dream too. And in every gesture of support, he's telling you the truth he may not yet dare to say: your future is where I want to live too. Sign 12. He introduces you to his inner circle. When a man is falling for you, his world begins to expand to make room for you. It's not enough for him to keep you as a secret sanctuary. He wants the people who matter most to him to know you, to see what he sees, and to feel the warmth you bring into his life. At first, it may be subtle, a casual mention of your name in conversations with his friends, a story he tells his family where you're the center detail. But soon it becomes intentional. He invites you to meet his closest friends, the ones who know his unpolished truths. He brings you around his siblings, his parents, or his colleagues, as if to silently announce, "This is someone important, someone who's changing me." This step is rarely casual. Men guard their circles carefully because introducing someone means more than just socializing. It means letting you into the fabric of his life. When he does this, it's cinematic in its quiet significance. The hero doesn't just fight his battles alone anymore. He brings you into the camp where trust is tested and belonging is granted. Pay attention to how he acts in those moments. He may hover near you, eager to see if his friends approve, if his family treats you well. He'll glance at your smile during the introductions, his nervousness softened only when he sees you fitting in. And if his circle embraces you, the relief in his eyes will tell you everything. You're not just a passing chapter. You're becoming the story. This sign is powerful because it shifts love from private to public. He's no longer keeping you at arm's length. He's intertwining your lives, brick by brick. And when a man starts placing you in the same frame as the people he values most, he's already declaring a future where you belong at the center. In truth, a man doesn't bring just anyone home. If you've been invited into his inner circle, it's because he's already written you into his heart's inner circle too. Sign 13. He acts nervous around you. Even if he's usually confident, confidence can be a man's armor. The steady laugh, the easy charm, the unshaken presence. But when he's falling for you, that armor suddenly develops cracks. Around you, he may stumble over words, fidget with his hands, or laugh a little too loudly at something that wasn't really that funny. It's not because he's weak. It's because his feelings for you make everything matter more. You might notice the way his voice trembles ever so slightly when he says your name, or how he rehearses his sentences in his head before letting them out. Perhaps he touches his face, adjusts his shirt, or taps his fingers when the silence stretches. Tiny signs of someone who desperately wants to impress but fears messing it up. Even the most confident men, the ones who command boardrooms or charm entire rooms, find themselves uncharacteristically unsure when it comes to love. Why? Because the stakes are different. With you, it's not about proving himself to strangers. It's about being seen fully and hoping you'll still choose him. It's cinematic in its vulnerability. Picture the suave character who suddenly trips over a chair when the love interest enters, or the witty man who forgets his own joke because he's too busy watching you smile. These moments reveal what words cannot. You disarm him, and while nervousness may look like awkwardness on the surface, underneath it lies something raw and beautiful. He cares. If he didn't, your presence wouldn't rattle him. If you were just another face, his pulse wouldn't quicken when you walked into the room. So when you catch him fumbling, blushing, or overcompensating in your presence, don't mistake it for clumsiness. It's love rehearsing itself in the only way it knows how, through the beautiful chaos of nerves. And in that chaos, the truth is crystal clear. He's already fallen, and it terrifies him more than he'll ever say aloud. Sign 14. He makes plans that include you in his future. One of the clearest signs a man is falling for you is the way his language shifts from I to we. He stops talking about the future as though it's a solo journey and starts weaving you into the tapestry of his tomorrow. Suddenly, it's not just about where he's going. It's about where the two of you might go together. At first, it may sound casual. We should try that restaurant next month, or maybe we could plan a road trip this summer. But soon, the scope widens. He talks about long-term dreams, goals, even life changes, with you standing beside him in every imagined scene. His plans aren't vague anymore. They're colored with your presence, as though you've already become the partner he wants by his side. It shows up in practical ways, too. He might say, "If you ever move cities, I'd go with you." Or, "I think you'd love this neighborhood. Maybe we could live here someday." These aren't hypotheticals tossed into the air. They're glimpses of the life he secretly envisions. His mind is already making space for you, not just in the present, but in every chapter to come. Cinematically, it's like watching a film where the protagonist finally reveals his heart through the little details. Buying 2 tickets instead of 1, keeping a drawer empty just for her things, or daydreaming aloud about what life could look like 5 years down the line. The audience knows it before the character says it. He's not just dating, he's dreaming. This sign is powerful because it's selfless. A man who falls deeply doesn't just want you in his now. He wants to build a world where your laughter fills his later. Every plan he makes with you in mind is his quiet way of saying, "I don't want a life that doesn't have you in it." And when tomorrow stops being singular and starts becoming plural, it's no longer just falling. It's already love. Sign 15. He confesses without words, through his actions. When a man is falling for you, there comes a point when words feel too fragile to hold the weight of what he feels. He may not have spoken the 3 sacred words yet, but his actions weave a confession more powerful than any declaration. Love leaks through the cracks of his everyday choices, until the truth becomes undeniable. He's already telling you, "I love you," without ever saying it. You'll see it in the way he listens, not with half an ear, but with his whole presence, as though nothing else exists when you speak. You'll feel it when he shows up on your worst days, carrying coffee or a quiet hug, never asking for thanks. You'll notice it when he remembers to text you good luck before an interview, or when he stays awake just to make sure you got home safe. Each act, however small, stacks up into something undeniable. Devotion. Sometimes it's even grander. He might drive hours just to see you for a few minutes. He might sacrifice sleep, rearrange priorities, or let go of something he once thought mattered, all to make space for you. And yet he never frames it as sacrifice. To him it feels natural. Because falling for you isn't about obligation, it's about joy. In films, this is the montage sequence. The way he carries your bag without asking, the way he brushes hair from your face, the way his entire body softens when you laugh. It's the collection of gestures that whisper louder than scripted dialogue ever could. You're the one. This sign is the culmination of all the others. The protective instincts, the curiosity, the nerves, the plans, they fuse into a silent confession carved in action. And while words may eventually come, you won't need them to know. Because when he's truly falling, every step, every touch, every look is already a love letter written in the language of presence. When a man shows you love through what he does, consistently, tenderly, instinctively, you can be sure his heart has already chosen you.